We all had our arms around each other singing North London Forever, like all looking at each other, and was like, wow, like none of us knew each other before this team, and like, you know, the friendship just runs so much deeper than like 90 minutes on a Saturday.
Even as a fan, when you were saying this, I'm like, I don't even think I've processed it. I don't even think I've got over it.
I'm gonna play Katie McCabe.
You're gonna play it, so I'm gonna need to put you in.
Yeah, I'll actually just be there.
The Smith. Welcome back to the Arsenal Humans Fanzone. This is a podcast that I basically introduce fans, and as you can see on the screen, I've got Laura with me. She is my second guest, so say hi, Laura.
Hello, hi.
Pretty good about hi, Laura. A little bit about Laura, like how we met was literally through Arsenal. So I feel like we have a lot to thank. I feel like a lot of people, especially with the women's side, like you just meet everyone and then you go out and yeah, it's just a good vibe with the women's side. So we actually met through that. And Laura creates content for Arsenal, but I feel like women's sport in general, I feel like we're very aligned with that. It's just about putting the women's game out there. So that's a bit about Laura. How I want to start all these podcasts, basically, like all these episodes with everyone, is asking why Arsenal? Like, why do you support Arsenal? Your earliest memories, just tell me all about it, because I feel like there's more than just football here. It's actually a fan base and a community.
Yeah, for sure. So I got into football. My first game was actually the FA Cup final in 2022. It was Chelsea versus Man City, which was crazy. It was like 3-2 and it was in extra time. And it was everything. Like Sam Kerr scored 2 goals and I was like, this is a bit me. I was like, this is so entertaining.
Not the player, not the team.
No, not the team. Absolutely, neither team. But no, and then literally like straight afterwards, we went straight into the Women's Euros. So it was like definitely kind of like on my radar, but I didn't know any players. So we managed to get a couple of games. So I went to like England, Northern Ireland, and then I actually managed to get tickets to the final, which is like my whole personality. But
just add that into every conversation,
just drop it in.
I'm like, oh, so we lifted it twice. Oh yeah, cool.
I was there both times.
You actually okay? Yeah, you won.
But yeah, so basically, I went and it was literally like just in tears at the end. It completely changed everything for the country. It was just like, even it just gives me goosebumps to speak about it. It was just like completely magical. It was everything. But yeah, and then I was so naive. Like I literally was trying to look and I was like, how often do England play? When can I go and see them again? And then obviously I was like, there's club football. Like I think I just didn't even clock that they were like full time. It was like, in a weekly thing. So I was like, oh my God, perfect. And I live just outside of London. So kind of geographically, I needed to support a team that was in London because I didn't want to travel too far. But yeah, so I would had kind of 4 teams to choose from. And with Arsenal, I think I just knew most of the players. Obviously, they had Leah Williamson, Beth Mead. They just signed Alessia Russo, Lotta. So yeah, started going to a couple of those games. Went to Meadow Park, went to the Emirates, and straight off the bat on my first game, you just start speaking to people around you. It was the best vibe. It was such a nice community. And immediately people are asking, oh, what's your Instagram? Let's start catch up in the week. And it was like, see you next week. It was just, you were just immediately welcomed into this community. It just felt so safe. It was the best thing ever. And yeah, I haven't looked back since.
Yeah, I do feel like with Arsenal, I literally feel the exact same way when I chat about Arsenal, because I'm like, it's the community, it's more than the players on the pitch. As much as you're drawn in because of those players, it is literally who you're surrounded by, and it makes you want to keep going back. Did you go to the first game? Because I don't think I've ever asked you this. Did you go to the first game by yourself, or were you with people? I know you go to a lot of games with your dad, so I'm not sure if he was there.
Yeah, so my first game actually was for Arsenal. It was Bristol City away, and I went with my dad. And it was actually the game that Viv Miedema made her return. So it was just
that's a big game. That gave me goosebumps.
I know. Yeah, no, it was crazy. And I didn't know a thing, so I was sat there, literally being no idea what's going on, and they were she's massive, this is such a big moment. People were just around me, and I was like, okay, and then I stood up, and I was like, this is amazing, congrats, girl. But yeah, no, it was crazy. And then obviously being through that season, we witnessed, Beth Mead's come back and Leah Williamson's come back, and it just felt like such a little family feel. And it was crazy.
I was going to say, you literally joined when everyone was injured and returning, so it almost, you probably were is this normal for us to be clapping players when they're coming back just after an injury? What's going on? Everyone's getting an applause, but that was actually such a weird season, because I feel like everyone was sort of in between. Yeah, players were coming and going, and then also the manager. That's, I think, when it started, everyone was like hating Jonas, and you probably
Yeah.
went, oh, so is this normal that people, I guess, hate the manager? Like, it is
Yeah.
actually quite a weird dynamic.
Yeah, 100%. And I think like that's the thing. I mean, obviously you do your research in the week and things like that, and you realize like how big these
Yeah.
comebacks are. But originally, they would just be like doing like, oh, just a quick substitution, and everybody's in the stands like in tears, crying. And I was like, this is every
Who
substitution. Like,
died? Like,
I was like,
am
what's
I meant
going
to be
on?
crying?
But yeah, no, it was crazy. It just like managed to like witness everybody come back. And yeah, no, it was incredible.
No, honestly, it sounds so good. Like when you joined as well, I feel like you're definitely not the only one that joined after the Euros, because when
Hmm.
I mean, from talking to pretty much everyone that goes to the Emirates now, everyone that goes to Meadow Park, it's always the Euros you always talk about. And I think Arsenal did so well. I don't know what they did and how they capitalised on it so well, but they literally made everyone that supported the Lionesses support Arsenal all of a sudden in just one summer. Do you feel like, obviously you were there this summer for most of it,
Hmm.
like I was there for the group stage, and I feel like then you took over and were there for the Ava through. So between us, we've got a rough idea of the whole tournament. But do you feel like
Hmm.
that's going to happen again, or other WSL clubs and other clubs in general are now like, oh, the Lionesses won, but we've also got Hannah Hampton in the net. It's not just about Russo up top. Like, do you feel like we've got competition now for fans?
Uh, I do think so, but I also think with the MVPs being Chloe Kelly and Michelle
Mm-hmm.
Adjemang, I think like it's even more. I think last tournament it was Leah being the captain and Beth being player of the tournament, and then
Yeah.
obviously this season it's the other two. So it's so exciting. It's such an exciting time to be an Arsenal fan. And I remember seeing kind of like just TikToks of people being like, just leave it to the Arsenal girls. Like they'll come on and
For
like
sure.
and
We're
win
coming
the
clutch.
game. Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. But no, I think like look, like the thing I love about Serena is that she just brings in so much young talent from everywhere.
Mhm.
And you know, like even with Jess Park and Man City, like everything you have to keep an eye on every single team, because every team has like so much exciting emerging talent, like filtering straight into the Lionesses and the senior team. So yeah, you've got to like threat can come from anywhere.
No, for sure, for sure. And I think as well it's so key with the young players, because as much as Michelle Adjaman, we're claiming her, she's ours, like she played in the academies, she's a player that's actually been out on loan.
Hmm.
But it's just like she's an Arsenal player through and through. And I don't know like what you think, if she's actually gonna stay at Arsenal, because I feel like this is a debate that I've been having with a lot of people, because I mean Blackstenius, her contract's running out next year, like the end of this season. So do you feel like she'll actually come to us? Because I think if we want to get even more fans, you've got to put Michelle up top.
Yeah, for sure. But I think the signings that we've also made with Olivia Smith and Taylor Hines, I think we're so like attacking heavy now. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's a nice problem for Renee to have, but
Oh,
she's
100%.
to try and figure out what our top three is going to be is going to be a difficult one. But I think we're just spoiled for choice. It's so exciting. I don't know. There's all talks of kind of like if like if Chloe Kelly's staying, then where's Beth going to go, and then is Michelle going to be available? And it's kind of like, and then obviously you've got like Stina, Frida, Mariona, like everybody's like we've got
The
so
squad depth is
we're just
crazy.
spoiled for choice. But yeah, I mean obviously like, but also what I think is what's really really exciting is about the Champions League. It's literally been like 4 minutes and I'm already dropping that in there. But we've got
Literally, no,
so
keep saying it. I was going to say it next, but you go ahead.
obviously being like current reigning champions of the Champions League.
Feels
Um,
good to hear.
we have got so many. We've obviously got like all the cup competitions, so you need the squad depth for constant rotation. We're going to have like a midweek game and then a weekend
Hmm.
game for like so much of the season. So you need to have that like rotation within the squad.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's actually, I hate to put the C word out here, but Chelsea already
Hmm.
basically that's, I think that's why they did so well,
Yeah.
like winning 3 trophies last season, because they have that squad depth. I thought when they were signing players like Kira Walsh, and I went, but you've already got your midfielders, like you've already got all these players. But I think that's how they really stayed at the top, and I'm quite hopeful about us. I just want to
Yeah,
go
for sure.
back sort of obviously around your sort of why Arsenal, but
Hmm.
why Arsenal content? Because obviously when you're talking now, I can hear you're so excited and you share that same passion I have, and
Hmm.
you can feel it through all the content you put out there. But like, why did you decide, oh, this is maybe a route for me? Was it to connect with friends? Like, yeah, I want to know sort of why. Like, why did you pick up your phone and go, yeah, let's record that?
Yeah, for sure. So at the beginning, I mean, so I'm a big traveler anyway. I love traveling, and
Hmm.
um, kind of in the last few years, I've been doing a lot of like travel vlogs when I go away, on weekends away, solo stuff like that. So I was just kind of vlogging my day of going to Arsenal games and things like that. And then when I started putting my face to the content that I was doing, I just immediately had so many like friends, so many people coming up to me and like, or messaging me and being like, I think it's just easier to connect. Obviously, like I see your content. I remember like how we met was like we both followed each other, and then I think you posted something on your story about being at the game, and then I was like, oh my god, you're like 8 rows behind me, and then we ended up just like meeting up at halftime anyway.
Yeah.
But it just feels so much safer when you're kind of like watching content and you can see it's like, you know, a girl around the same age, and you're like, oh my god, that'd be so nice to be friends. But yeah, immediately like I just started loving it. Everyone started talking in the comments about debating different things. I think I would post something like, how easy is it to get to, I don't know, like West Ham Stadium, and you know, like, or travel day tips, or what would you suggest, and things like that. And everybody just, it's like a whole thing in the comments. Everybody just really comes together. It's such a community. Yeah, there's so much support, and it's so much fun. I've just managed, made so many friends through it.
No, literally, that's like, that makes me so happy, because I think I've had the same experience, slightly different, because I think I talk about like the men's side as well, whereas you're predominantly the women's side. So the fan bases, I think, are very different. Like if you went to both games, it's quite a different vibe. But with the women's, it's just that community feel. It is so nice just to feel safe and comfy. And now we're obviously going to bigger stadiums, so then there's even more fans coming in. And I do feel like why I started this podcast as well was because I was like, oh, I want to hear from other people, because there might be someone listening that's like, oh, I want to go to a game, I want to start content, and it's like, well, if Laura can do it, you can do it, you know, like like, you might as well start doing it. So I think it's really nice how, I don't know, sport has become more than just football. Like it's more than just the team you're watching, it's actually you
for
playing
sure.
your own team around you. Like it's nice.
No, definitely. I think also my one of my best friends, Bridget, she lives in America, and she's a huge Arsenal fan. I actually went to Switzerland like with her, but I remember like meeting up with her. So I was working in America last year anyway, and then at the end of it, I went to DC for the preseason game when they came over with Chelsea. And we met up there, and she was saying that the thing that she loves about my content is that when they watch the football games in America, the streaming stops after the full-time whistle, so that's it. And then she was saying, but we don't see any of the, you know, the post-match interactions of them going up and hugging the other team, or shaking hands with the other team, or saying thank you to the fans and things like that. So then she said that she just switches straight onto TikTok after full-time, because then you see all the content from the stands, and all the fans like filming, and you know, the players waving up and coming over and signing stuff or hugging fans and things like that. So you see all this stuff afterwards. And especially like we were saying, with the huge moments when there's an ACL comeback, as soon as the final whistle goes, it's almost like they've won a huge trophy. Like the whole team flood onto the pitch, everybody's hugging them. It's such like a heartwarming thing to see. But you don't see that obviously straight after the streaming stops. So then you see it all on TikTok. And I didn't even realize that was like, I didn't even think of that. But when she said it, I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. And then when I was traveling earlier in the year, I was exactly the same. You know, the streaming stops, and then you go straight onto like either Twitter or TikTok, and you see all the post-match like celebrations, and it's really, really cool to see. You feel like you're there.
I was gonna say, I didn't even think of that as well, because I think maybe it's just like my naive brain, maybe, that I'm like, oh, I'm a Londoner, as much as I'm South London and you still have to travel a bit, and I can't get to every game. I'm just like, oh, I'm at quite a few games, and that is such a privilege to be able to be at those games. Whereas for people that live, I mean, outside of London, but even outside of like the country, like in different countries all over the world, that's actually so important, because you do bring people closer to the players, like bring fans closer to the players, because you're almost creating their personalities. Like you wouldn't see, oh, this person gave a piggyback to this person, and this player seems a bit cheeky when they do this and stuff. You wouldn't see any of that if it wasn't like shown. So that's actually so true. I didn't even think about that. I actually
for sure.
I just love it. I just feel like it's such a good community to be a part of. Sort of moving on to like favourite moments, favourite players, just favourite Arsenal things, basically. You obviously, when you're recording these players, you see little personalities. You obviously go to the game, so you actually see the players themselves. Do you have one player in particular that you're like, this is my favourite player, and they will be forever, even if they leave the club? Like no matter what they do, they will always be my favourite player. And it can be based off obviously personality or just them playing.
I think it's the person that I've got on the back of all my shirts is Leah Williamson. And I think
I
that
kind
was
of assumed it was.
yeah. And she's the reason I started supporting Arsenal, obviously being the captain of England. I think she's got such a kind of a big personality, and she's such a good spokesperson for so many different topics outside of football as well. She's such an advocate for so many things, so it's really, really easy to follow her and support her. She's such a good person to support. But yeah, I think there was that, and then I think obviously just the comeback for her ACL. It's so interesting. I mean, one of my favourite moments was seeing all three of them come back. But what I really loved was watching Beth and Viv's documentary, which is another thing I loved that Arsenal did, about, being both doing their ACLs, both being in a relationship and having to go through that at the same time in the same house. So obviously when you watch something like that and then you see them and you go down and see them on a Saturday and see them in person and they come back from an ACL, it feels like it's almost like a friend. And you're so invested in their story and their comeback, and you kind of almost followed them the whole way. So when you see them come back, it's crazy. It's the same with Leah Williamson, and you see so much. And there's kind of those two, and then I think my other favorite thing is how much Arsenal are breaking records and things like that for attendances. I mean, it's kind of the marketing team have got it spot on, and definitely kind of the trailblazers for the game. But no, it's so cool. I remember being part of the crowd that was when it was the WSL attendance record, and it came up on the screen, and the girl that I was with, the girl that I was watching it was with, was literally like, "We're just a part of history," and I was like, "Oh, gives me goosebumps!" Like, it is crazy. You are, it's crazy.
What I love as well is we've been a part of so many things in history. It feels like just this season. Like I feel honoured that we've been to multiple parades. Like it's not just at club level, it's country as well. Like it's such a good time to be a gunner that supports the Lionesses as well. Like it's just such a great time. Is there one moment that you can pick out from? Obviously, you've supported Arsenal for a few years. One moment. I mean, I feel like I can kind of maybe guess, but you might go off on one. But is there one moment that you can pick out that you're like, this is my favourite moment. This brought so much emotion in me. This is the moment that I can't wait to tell grandkids and friends, grandkids and whatever.
I mean, is it anything except the Champions League final?
I was leading into that and I was like, if you don't say it, I'm ending this right now.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it was such an amazing moment. I had recently just come back from traveling. I was in Southeast Asia for 3 or 4 months, so the bank needed to be replenished. So I didn't really have the funds to go to Lisbon. So when I came home, it was very much kind of like, I needed to. I was like, I want to try and be there. I don't want to just watch it on, my computer at home, my laptop at home. So I was like, I really, really want to try and be as much as I can. So reached out to a couple of our friends. And of course we went to the Emirates to watch it. And it was honestly, such an crazy emotional time. And it was just absolutely magical, and it was perfect. Everything was amazing. And then literally next day, 2 days later, went back to the Emirates to welcome them home, which was crazy. And that was one of my favorite moments. I had kind of accumulated all these friends from over the last 3 seasons, 3 seasons, and everybody was just stood in the square, and I took my mum as well, which was amazing.
It was a legend, by the way. So
cute. No, both my parents are they're so invested in the women's game. I take them to take them to games. But so I brought my mum and then introduced them to literally all 12 of my friends. So it was perfect, and we were all just stood in the middle, looking up at the team, and it was a very emotional thing. We all had our arms around each other, singing North London Forever, all looking at each other, and was like, wow, none of us knew each other before this team, and the friendship just runs so much deeper than 90 minutes on a Saturday. So very, very grateful.
No, honestly, I think you perfectly. I mean, I would throw back all the adjectives you use, magical, perfect. You summarise that so well of all the emotion. I think, I honestly, I don't know how players do it where they win a massive Europa, they win a massive trophy, a competition, and then suddenly next week they're like, right, now we've got to turn our heads to the Euros, and we're now playing for our country. I don't get how, because even as a fan, when you were saying this, I'm like, I don't even think I've processed it. I don't even think I've got over it, because I'm like, oh yeah, I've just been to Buckingham Palace of all the places to watch the Lionesses lift their Euros trophy, and now I'm like, wait, but let's not forget that a couple months ago we were doing exactly what you've just summarised. Like, it is so crazy how players, like, I honestly don't get how they can move on from things, like not only the playing side but also the emotional side, because I think for me, I had the perspective when we were stood there, like us and our few friends, just cheering, like jumping. I suddenly zoned out at one point and went, wow, like, because I've been supporting them since I was about 10.
Yeah.
I suddenly was like, oh my God, we've done it. Like, I wasn't a fan, like like we were alive, but I wasn't a fan of them when they did it the first time.
Yeah.
So to be part of it, it felt like it was the first time for so many people in that room. And it just felt like, yeah, completely what your friend said, like we're part of history just by being here, just by witnessing this. And I feel like it's always the first of things as well. Like now we're doing the second of trophies, which is crazy, but it's always that first moment that you experience it, that it just feels, yeah, goosebumps. Like proper,
I've literally got goosebumps. Like I've literally got goosebumps.
No, literally, I'm like, am I cold or
I'm just gonna shed a tear in a minute. But yeah,
literally.
no, it means everything, and I love the fact that, you know, like the social media for Arsenal, it was, you know, 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, they won't let it go, and I'm so glad they're not, because everybody's still talking about it. We need to talk about it. Like it's it's the best thing ever.
I do actually feel bad for other fans though, because we don't stop talking about it. Like next season we'll just be like sing like Champions of Europe. You'll never sing that. Like we're literally going to be chanting it. But it makes me so excited about next season, because I'm like, oh, like as much as last season I feel like there were so many ups and downs throughout it, it is looking forward to, right, we actually ended on a positive. Talking about last season though, have you, like, there's a few things that I've been thinking. I'm quite a positive person, but I was like, oh, but what if this happened?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if, like, if I throw some statements at you, like, tell me your reaction.
Mm-hmm.
What if we had Slegers from the start? Do you think that would be a different outcome?
Yeah, I think that was like the big thing when Jonas left. And immediately it was kind of like 5 back-to-back wins, and it was like I can't, correct me if I'm wrong, it was clean sheets. It was,
I'm pretty sure.
it was crazy. Like it was, and it was kind of like, it wasn't like a 1-0, 2-0. It was like 4-0. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, like 5-0. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, and it was, it was one of those things, and everybody was just like, oh, imagine if we'd had this from the start of the season. But yeah, I think everybody, like, teams need to be tested with like kind of management and things like that, and then you know what you like, you know what you don't like. Yeah, I mean that's just football, but yeah, this is what makes me so excited for next season, to have her from the start. Yeah, let the renaissance begin.
I was gonna say, do you think that obviously when she came in, when she took over, it almost was such a smooth transition that there's going to be so much pressure on her from this season, but do you think that we have a better chance now of winning the WSL, even like despite the competition, which is getting like hotter and hotter each season? I feel like it's heating up so much. There's so many new players coming over to the WSL. So forget about that. Like, do you think for us, like, we actually have a better chance now we have her from the start?
Yeah, for sure. I think it was so great for it to be in-house anyway, because she knew all the team and they were comfortable with her anyway. But yeah, I think going into the next season, I think everybody's just going to be hungry for more. The fact that we finished in such a great position in the WSL last season, then we won the Champions League. I think everybody's just going to hit the ground running as soon as it goes straight into the next season. And I think also coming straight back off the Euros, you've got all the English girls, which have just won another European trophy. And then even, you know, like, or even the other players, Mariona, things like that, they have got so far in the competition that they're going to be hungry for another trophy. So I think we're winning the quadruple.
Okay, you heard it here first. I'm just gonna click that off, and I'm gonna start it with that this whole episode. That is wild, but I don't want to be delusional, but I actually feel like we have.
Why would we not? Give me one reason why we wouldn't. The squad depth, the hunger for it, the manager, like the players we've got.
We know we can win.
Yeah, and it's we've done it. It's, well, I mean, yeah, I just have absolutely no reason why we couldn't do it. I think everybody's so hungry to win again. And yeah, we just want more.
That would actually be meant, honestly. That's giving me even more goosebumps. That another person, obviously, that's like off the pitch managerial staff. But if we had Chloe Kelly from the start, like, what if we had Chloe Kelly from the start? What do you think would have happened, or also then talk about the season upcoming as well?
Yeah, it's such a hard one. I think I'm trying to think of all the timeline for everything of when everybody left.
Well, she had a mad 6 months when you think about it, because she was obviously at City
Yeah,
playing against Arsenal, and then suddenly, obviously, everything that happened in that club, and then she came on loan. But I'm like, oh, but what if we had her from the get go? Like,
yeah.
could have changed it.
I think yeah, for sure. I mean, she's like definitely such a strong forward, and she completely changed everything for us in the second half of the season. But I think the strikers that we had at the beginning of the season and throughout it, Caitlin Ford had an incredible run at the beginning of the season, and in pre-season.
100%.
And yeah, such an amazing player for the team. And yeah, I think everybody kind of needed to find their feet. Everybody, obviously, we had Mariona come in as well, so everybody needed to kind of like see their positions. But yeah, I think on a personal one, I mean, everybody just really like their hearts went out to Chloe Kelly, and I'm so glad that we could change everything. I mean, I remember we were all in Switzerland, and it is crazy. Like, you know, she was at Christmas in the January transfer window, and she was saying that she's had this conversation with Serena, and she might not be, you know, kind of like eligible to be picked for the Euros. And then obviously she comes to us, wins the Champions League, goes and wins the scoring goal for the, you know, the winning goal for the Euros final. Like, we were just like, listen.
I think her post match interview was so good. But what did she say? The quote, she was just like, "Thanks for everyone who wrote me off. Like, I appreciate it. I'm grateful." Something like that, along the lines of that. And I just thought,
Yeah.
wow, like, she is her. She is the moment right now.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm so excited to have her from the start of next season. A couple of like, this is like two more statements that I've just thought of sort of off the top of my head. Looking ahead to next season, this is sort of sadder what ifs, but like, what if Kim Little leaves Arsenal at the end of next season, because it kind of is looking quite inevitable.
Yeah,
Like,
I think.
how would you react?
Yeah, I think it's such a weird one. I think everybody kind of had these speculations of after winning the Champions League, she'll, you know, retire on high. But I think she has been such a anchor in the midfield, and it's almost like kind of everybody works around her. But I think the legacy that she's leaving and she's left, everybody, she's leaving football in such an amazing place, and she's leaving Arsenal in such a strong place. And everybody's, yeah, I think the midfielders that we've got are so exciting. And obviously with like Leah Balti, Vic Palova coming back, you know, she had a great Euros and things like that. It's really exciting, Kyra Cooney-Cross, to see what our midfielders are going to do. But yeah, I think she's been such an amazing mentor, and kind of hearing what the players have said behind the scenes as well is, you know, she's such an incredible mentor to have around. She's she just teaches everybody everything. And yeah, I think it'll be really sad to see her go. I think that'll be more tears shed collectively than any of the ACL comebacks. But
100%.
I think she's leaving it in a much better place than when she joined. So yeah.
You literally worded that perfectly. I feel like when it happens, Arsenal need to call you up and say, "Can you just write the caption on the post for us?" Because honestly, I've got a picture of her with literally like Little's legacy. Like, it's just, it is crazy what she's done for the club. But I don't want to get too far ahead and think, oh my God, she's going to leave. But it is quite, you know, inevitable. But let's try and be a bit more hopeful and a bit more positive. But just look ahead to next season. I am so excited that we both got season tickets for Arsenal, which, what you were saying earlier, breaking records. We're getting, I think, how many season tickets we sold? I think last time I checked it was like 20,000, maybe 15,000.
Yeah, it's so exciting.
Higher and higher each time. Like, I'm firstly, how do you feel about that? Because I'm buzzing.
Oh, I just can't wait. I'm so excited. I think even, like, I came back from the Euros and I was like, what do you mean we've got the whole month without football? I mean, thankfully there are pre-season games, so that can tie me over, but I'm so excited for the season to start. I'm so hungry to like get back to the Saturday routine. Yeah, no, I'm really excited. I just can't wait. I think I'm so excited after the Euros for it to be kind of bigger and better after the Euros 22 of just like such an explosion of fans. I think everybody's going to want to be there. It's the place to be. Everybody's weekend plans. Oh my God, I'm just so excited.
No, honestly, same. I feel like the feeling's really good. Like when I'm chatting to Arsenal fans, I feel like both men and like women's fans, when usually it's the start of the season, you're like, oh, we still haven't got this player, we need this player. But I feel like as a whole, the club is in such a good position that I almost don't want to jinx it. Like, touch wood, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but it's just, it is crazy that we've got all these players, we've got that squad depth that you mentioned earlier. Like, Slegers has such a tricky choice trying to pick out which players she needs. Because there's so many good players, so I'm actually very excited. But when I was looking at obviously who we're playing against, we've got London City Lionesses in the first game of the season, and I spoke on my pods like what was it, a couple weeks back, about the WSL fixtures being released, and I was like, oh, I really either want Chelsea or London City Lionesses. Like, you want to either play the best, like I think Chelsea Arsenal is the best fixture in the WSL season. You either want to start the season like that, or you want to start with kind of like an underdog. But I also feel like they actually probably could do really well against us. And when this episode goes out, it will be like the week just before it happens. So I kind of just want to hear your thoughts on the first game, any score predictions, players, anything like that.
Yeah, for sure. Can you just remind me who's signed for London City Lionesses? We've had there's been a couple of big ones. They've had
Well, I mean, the recent one we saw, Nikita Paris.
Nikita Paris, Daniel van der Donk.
Wild. I thought Jordan Nobbs was going to go there.
So did I. I was waiting.
And then suddenly when she signed for like, who was it? Newcastle. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Let me have a look. They have. Sorry, I'm just on the socials.
No, I mean, I could do this as well.
Whole feed is literally just Nikita Paris. They got Freya Godfrey as well, actually.
Okay.
Who is for Arsenal, and I don't know if I think she made like a couple of senior appearances, but it does seem to be like the stereotype of it's the loanies from Arsenal, if that makes sense. Like it seems to be they take our players, so we're actually just playing against ourselves. So,
oh, for sure. Like it's just going to be like an in-house competition.
No, literally. Yeah, I think you kind of mentioned all the key players. They've also got Taya Goldie, who is a Arsenal player as well, used to be. So,
yeah,
they've
sure.
signed big names. And obviously they won last year, did really well. So
so I was so I actually went to the playoff final between Birmingham City and London City Lionesses, which was a crazy game. But yeah, even watching that, it was one of those whichever team won would get promoted with the 11 points. And yeah, literally I was like, oh my god, just looking at the quality and the standard of the football that they were playing, I was like, either of the teams are ready to be in the WSL. There was not like a huge disparity.
Because I feel like there's always, I don't know, like I'm hoping on City Lionesses will be the paving the way for the gap being smaller, but I do feel like you saw with Crystal Palace last season, they came up and there's just such a big gap. I think they played Chelsea in one of their first games and lost like 7-0 or something.
Yeah.
Like, they're not bad players, it's just they're not used to it. They don't have the funding, they don't have the squad depth. But the fact that London City Lionesses have all these big names as well, it's not like they're small, they're not a small club.
Oh, for sure. And I think with Michelle Kang coming in and just just pumping money into that team, I think it is so exciting. And I remember seeing an interview with her, and she said that her goal for the next season is to kind of finish mid-table, which I don't think's a crazy statement to say with the players that she's brought in. And you know, with Nikita Paris and Daniel van der Donk, they've got experience in the WSL. They know what they're doing. So it's not like it's all kind of players that don't have experience and they're young and things like that. I mean, yeah, I think it's going to be a really, really, really exciting fixture, and I think they'll show up for the first game. I really think they will. I think they're going to try and come out with something to prove. Score prediction, I would probably say 3-1 to Arsenal.
Ooh.
I'm still backing us.
I'm still backing us. DVD.
Like, honestly, if anybody ever asks me my score prediction, I never predict a clean sheet. No, I don't know. I just never want to jinx it. I think I predicted a clean sheet once, and then we conceded within the first 15 minutes, and I was like, never again.
Right, that's me out. I'd love to say that we could get a clean sheet, but like you said, like their players, they've got they're definitely going to show up. It's obviously Arsenal, like it's Emirates Stadium. Basically all of us will be season ticket holders. I think first game of the season as well, usually, because it's kind of still like kids' holiday, I guess. Yeah. Like, there's loads of factors like maybe work as well. Obviously it's on a Saturday. I feel like there'll be so many people attending it, which I'm so excited about. But I just have this thing in my head. I'm like, we actually just need to get those 3 points. Like, there's a part of me that
Yeah.
we can't underestimate them, because if we lost against a City or a Chelsea, that's humbling and that could cost us later down the line. But it's a team that you expect to be performing like that in the WSL, whereas we don't know how they perform in the WSL because they've never been there. So I think it's kind of a little bit scary just to think about that. But obviously that is literally just the first game, and we saw that even with Jonas, we still managed to pull it back once he left with Slegers. So even if we don't perform the best the first couple of games, hopefully we'll be all right.
Yeah.
Just talking about like the club as a whole, are there any, like, this is obviously for the season ahead. Actually, wait, for the season ahead, where do you think we're going to finish in the league? I know you said quadruple, so I'm assuming you think we're going to come first, or?
Yeah, definitely top three. 100% top three. Yeah.
I feel like the top four is always kind of predictable, but I think I don't want to say we're going to come first, but I feel like I have a good feeling that we definitely can come top two again. Hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. I think, obviously you can never write off Chelsea with the signings they've made as well recently. They're definitely ones to watch this season as well. It's so exciting. But I think what's really, really exciting is that the gap is closing at the top of the table. And it's so competitive now, and you can't confidently predict who's going to win, which makes it really fun.
No, definitely. And even with the new system where they're going to get 2 clubs will stay up, and then something like that. Basically, we're expanding the WSL, and then WSL 2 will now have more more teams going up as well. So I think that's just really exciting, because then it almost both ends of it will be fairly even. So it's not predictable. Oh, like last season we knew Chelsea at Christmas we pretty much were like, Chelsea are going to win, Crystal Palace are going to go down. Like there was a few ums and ahs, but it pretty much was set like that. Whereas this season I am very excited. Looking at Arsenal as a whole, do you feel like there's any improvements? I know we've been praising them a lot, but do you feel like there's any improvements, not even just on the pitch, the players-wise, but just as a whole, as a fan, that you want to see in the future? Like, what are your hopes for Arsenal? Because, I mean, you've been supporting them the last few years, and, what are your hopes for the next few years?
I think, there's kind of like 2 different parts. They're doing such an incredible job at, like we said, breaking records. I think because they are the trailblazers, and everybody kind of like needs to, between them and Chelsea, constantly like raising the ceiling, and everybody's got to keep up with them. I think it'd be really, really nice to help, like, to see them help out smaller teams, and almost kind of like give them a blueprint and be like, this is the marketing that we've done, this is what works. Just to get people in the door and just come and like support them and see them. We've got such an incredible like traveling fans as well, like for the away games. So definitely trying to help out smaller teams. Not even just in the WSL, WSL 2 and below as well. I think
How do you think they'd go about that? Because that's a really interesting idea. But like, how would you I don't know, would you advertise, instead of just being like Arsenal playing here, be like the WSL are here, so put WSL more on the map? Or how would you even go about that? Because it is a really cool concept.
Yeah, potentially. I think one of the things that I really, really like with them doing, and I know that you can't do this for every game, but they did this for the Champions League final, was they'll kind of have interviews with players from each team, or maybe even kind of like playing games between each other. I know that you can't do that for every fixture, but just kind of have like these like in-house, like to get the fans interested, almost to kind of have these crossovers between teams. I think also just kind of the conversations behind the scenes as well with it across the marketing and the digital marketing teams of just almost trying to be not gatekeeping. I don't know if that they're doing that already, but just to have that, what's working for you. This is because obviously, inevitably, we want the whole sport to grow as a whole. So it doesn't do anybody any favors if it's just Chelsea and Arsenal constantly doing better than the other like 10 teams. So it's almost kind of like, this is what we're doing, this is what works for us, this is how you can get more fans in the door, and we want to sell out every single game. Like, you sell out your your away allocation, and we'll bring every like things like that. So I think I think that'd be really cool.
No, I like that. I was like, to be fair, that was such a broad question, you could have gone anywhere, but I like how it's such like a selfless, we want to grow the women's game. And I think that's one thing that I absolutely love about the WSL. As much as I'll be the first to take the mick out of like Chelsea, or take the mick out of City, or any of our rivals, at the end of the day, we all just want the women's game to grow and do well. And it's been doing so well, especially winning Euros. We're showing that English football is important, like the women's game. So it is really important to keep that going. So yeah, I'm very excited. I actually feel really confident about this season as well.
Yeah, for
And I
sure.
feel even more confident that your energy, you're giving that as well. So I feel like we're on the same page of it. I kind of just want to end this episode because I've realised we've actually been yapping for a while now. I kind of just want to end this episode by playing a little game of play, bench and sell. So I'm just going to name like a few players.
Okay.
And I just want you to, off the top of your head, just say who you'd play, who you'd bench and who you'd want to sell. So because obviously the theme throughout this episode, we've been talking a lot about the Lionesses because they are European champions in case you didn't know. I want to start with Russo, Kelly, Adjaman. Who are you playing? Who are you benching? Who are you selling? And you've got to think here because this is a tough one.
Oh, this is so hard because also they're a great top three together.
Yeah, why don't we just play them? Actually, you know what? Just play all of them. Change the rules of the game.
Yeah, because is that an option? Can we just play all bench and sell?
Not really. You've got to pick.
Oh, this is such a hard one. I'm gonna say, it's okay. I'm gonna play Alessia Russo, and
Nice.
I'm gonna. This is such a hard one. Oh, this is so hard.
But people are gasping. They're like, "What?"
I think I would say bench either Chloe or Michelle because they're just our super subs. You know, they come in clutch when we need them. Obviously, we're seeing it in the Euros. I'm gonna say play Alessia Russo.
You want to call a friend?
Yeah, I know.
Can I? You know, we can call a friend. Get the crowd going.
No, I'm so sorry. Okay. No, so I'm gonna play Alessia Russo. I'm gonna sub on. So I'm gonna have on the bench Chloe, and then I'm gonna sell Michelle. I'm so sorry, Michelle.
Wow.
But I think she would be such an asset to any team that she goes to. But also, selfish, I want to keep her to us. So
yeah, let's just play all of them. Like, let's forget about the rules. No, but to be fair, when I was writing it down, I was like, what would I do? And I actually came up with the exact thing. That's why I put it in that order because I was like, that is actually how I would do it.
Yeah.
Play Russo, bench Kelly, and set Adjaman, but then hoping that, like, sell her on loan.
Yeah.
So then hopefully she comes back. That's what.
Circle her back in a few years. Come back, babe.
I guess you go, yeah, literally. Because I think she's grown so much, and obviously she proves that on the biggest stage, she can be amazing. But, like, we want you back as well in the future. Like, keep growing. Sure. And then come back. So interesting. The next one, there's just a few of these I've got. Little, Vaulty, and DVD. Different positions as well, but I thought why not? Throw in some different roles.
Yeah. Oh, this is really, really hard. Okay, I'm gonna play DVD because she's unreal. I literally like every time she's in goal, we're in safe hands. Literally in safe hands. I'm gonna play Walty, and then I'm gonna send Kim Little on early retirement.
So after this speech you just did earlier, where you're like Little's legacy,
she just deserves to be sold. I'm not selling her. I'm not selling her. She'll retire at Arsenal, but I'm just gonna like give her the option and say.
So she's out of the playing side of it. You've sold her, but you've sold her to like the coaching staff at Arsenal.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
She'll carry on, but she's not carrying on at a different club.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Somehow I feel like you've managed to actually like come up with good answers with this. Like, thought I'd catch you out a bit more.
Thanks.
And the last one is Williamson, Catley, and McCabe.
Oh, that's so hard. Because they're so solid. Goodness me. Okay, I'm gonna play. Oh no. I'm gonna play Katie McCabe.
You're gonna play it, so I'll put you in.
Yeah, I'll actually just be there.
The Smith.
No, I'm gonna play Katie, bench Leah, and sell Steph. I'm so sorry, Steph.
Wow, to be fair, that is. I wouldn't like to be asked that question because that is tough.
Yeah.
But don't worry, you're out of pain with that because I'm not going to ask you any more in that little game. I just thought that was a cute way to end this. Before I fully end this episode, can you just let the people know that whether they're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify, where to find you? Because I feel like it's really important to connect with like-minded people, and I feel like a lot of people would really like your content. So yeah, let me know where.
Of course, yeah. My handle is Laura Sports Media on Instagram and TikTok. So yeah, come say hi.
Perfect. Yeah, no, make sure you do. Well, yeah, thank you for watching this episode. Make sure you follow Laura on her journey, and also if you want to carry on following my journey on here with Arsenal Humans podcast, which I do every Tuesday, and then I get guests on every other Friday, then come subscribe on YouTube, where it's all visual so you can see our faces just waving at the camera. And then also thanks Laura for that. And then also on Spotify, if you're more of an audio listener. I feel like we're both podcast girlies where we just have our headphones
For
in.
sure.
So yeah, you can check us out over there. But yeah, thanks again, Laura, and I'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.